Hello.
Hello, hello, Beena. It was to wait for the grain and the recording. That's the thing
No
of the.
problem. No problem. Hello and good mornings to all. Whoever is going to watch us live and record it later, welcome to the Moreness Live. And today we are going to keep it short. We had okay, it is coming out quite even. Sorry for being a bit late. But it was all good because we were having fun. A friend was here and we were chatting and discussing a lot of moreness there, a lot of awareness every single time when we interact with people who have, of course, from Way-of-Impeccability and and Moreness-Project. They bring so much more to us, like really, and that was really a good opportunity for me to learn and grow, and I was enjoying that. When we were wrapping it up, just by the way things come up with the lovable and likable,
Yeah,
just having this awareness of the difference between being lovable and being likable is really, really a huge transformative moment for me. That was when I realized that, when I understand that being lovable and being likable are completely two different paradigms, actually.
yeah,
They have nothing common because and of course it applies to everyone, like it's not, if I was taking it personally, but of course it applies to everyone. I do love people, many people in my life, not necessarily like everything about them, and that is something very crucial to understand, especially about us. uh, when it comes to self-love,
yeah.
it's a pity that we are still struggling with the self-love and loving ourselves. So we don't know that, okay, do we really like ourselves or not? Because this is a completely different thing. Sometimes we do love people, but we don't like them necessarily. Liking is very specific. It involves a lot of details. Love is more love is more abstract. You can love someone just for being, just for existing. You can love because they do have a particular role in their life, not like they are giving you something, but they are just being there, making a huge difference. Just existing, their existence make a huge difference in your life.
You can love
And
them,
that,
know.
yes, and of course you love them for that. Sometimes it is just the way they are. You love them because they, even when they are not you can say that normally nice people, no, you still love them because they are showing you, they are giving you the example,
Yeah,
the, to not like them, not be like them.
yeah,
Sometimes people just give you that. And of course many other ways where people just by existing and just by being who they are gives you an opportunity to love them. Love is more abstract. Liking is a completely different thing. When we like someone, there are very specific details involved into that. You can actually pinpoint things that, okay, why I love this person, like this person. Oh, their way of talking is so beautiful. I just like that. Okay, I do have in my life, I do follow many people who I really like, but I don't love them. No, no, completely not. I follow, I listen to them, but I don't love them. I like because they
yeah.
have been working on themselves, the way they project themselves, the way they present their ideas and perspectives. But I like them. I don't love them. And there are many people in my life who I really like them also. So many for so many reasons. Coming back to the self-love and self-liking, we do struggle with the self-love. So self-liking is a different, completely different thing. But if
Exactly.
we really start paying attention to ourselves and saying that, okay, what I can actually, what I really like about this, because once we become aware of it, there are very bright chances that if we don't like something about ourselves, we can change it.
Yeah,
But the key here is awareness. Awareness is almost always a key factor for the transformation, for the change, for
yeah,
the improvement and learning and growing. Awareness is the key. To be aware of first step, aware of the difference between lovable and likable, and love and liking also. And second is to understand what I really like about myself. Once we understand that, there are very bright chances that we can change.
No, no,
We can
no.
change about ourselves and we can change ourselves. So that was my thought of the day today. I was having a very good time. Marcel and my friend Cheryl they were discussing and bringing so much moreness into the conversation, and that was really a
Um,
bounty for me.
yes.
Okay,
No,
sir. So I hope that you are done with all those things.
I am. Sharing is the most incredibly beautiful and rewarding thing when we share. And sharing has a sweetness and a wonder all its own, as Biella. Sharing is
Yes.
really magical. It's so incredibly wonderfully magical. Sharing, sharing, sharing. Because when we share, it's one plus one equals more. It's sharing. Fantastic. It's absolutely brilliant. Really awesome. All right, let's get right into it and get right to today's chapter. Just gonna do the one chapter. Chat here, and
Yes.
I'll put it up, ready to go. Screen share, do everything one. And I like this. It's a fairly short chapter. Well, it's a very short chapter actually, but it's also very powerful, very interesting, very different chapter that we're going to read today. It's a very unusual, um, different one. All right. So that was from the next chapter, but this is the art for today. I might change this. I'm not sure. But anyway, you'll tell me afterwards when you've read it, Beena, then we'll see. It's an interesting picture, and we have this here. We'll see. We'll see what it says. All right. If you would read, please, Beena.
Okay. Perceived lessness from moreness. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Perceived lessness from moreness. What an interesting title.
Yeah, and
Question.
now let's see, what does Biella mean by this? Yeah.
Yes.
Not
Yes.
right now what she means, but we're going to see. This is a
Yes.
deal. This is a very big deal. Yeah. Actually, I hope Cheryl watches this at some point. I'll make a
Okay.
note because it actually so powerfully ties into what we were saying. You'll see. Anyway, please keep going.
Okay. Question. Good morning. Here is one for pondering for insight. In a group session with people sharing their awakening process and how it's going, one young lady has the courage to share this. She's finding that as she is growing and expanding on her path, she's finding that her friends are inviting her less and less to activities, and they seem to not come to her physical house and definitely do not spend the night there as they once did. She is even experiencing where people will move from being next to her in line or at a movie, etc. Wow. She was so honest in her inquiry as to how people orders disagreeable personality, oh sorry, and how people felt about why this might be. She and the group eliminated bad breath, body orders, disagreeable personality, quite the opposite actually. A very upbeat, friendly, smiling, happy, and a strong charisma, inner happiness glows from her. The friends not inviting her as much as she kinda gets. The strangers physically not wanting to be in close proximity seems anomalous to her, and it remains somewhat of a challenge for her because she is extremely social and enjoys being with others, laughing and sharing life experiences, and it seems to be going in the opposite direction. Any feelings or insight on this one?
What do you think before you read more, Beena? What do you think?
I was like, okay, yes, so many times. Okay, I feel because you know that how I was starving for friends, and I was like saying that, come on, like I want friends in my life, especially female friends. I was really Okay, I kind of like, okay, yes, give up because I realize that my interests are getting more very typical. So yes, okay, it makes sense to me. They have different priorities, but her,
She is the young lady in question only experienced this, her friends not wanting to be friends with her anymore, as she was growing herself, right? She thought she was, right? She has to share. She is finding that as she is growing and expanding on her path, as she is growing and expanding on her path. It's not just a thing that happened in isolation, right? It's consequential. Yeah.
yes, yes,
Right. So
yes,
that's how we've got to understand it. Yes.
exactly. Sorry, yes, I do and know exactly what it is. As we grow and change, and when that is because we are making deliberate effort to do so, those around us who do not make deliberate effort but internally feel they should be doing so, those do not wish to be in our presence because we show them up by contrast. Wow. If they're nice people, they will just avoid
Please
us.
read that again. That from as we grow.
Okay.
This is the whole answer in that sentence, right?
Yes. Okay. As we grow and change, and when that is because we are making deliberate effort to do so, those around us who do not make deliberate effort but internally feel they should be doing so, those do not wish to be in our presence because we show them up by contrast. If they are
That's
nice
the key.
people, yes. If they are nice people, they will just avoid us. The not so nice will be nasty, mean, rude, derogatory, etc., and will even actively sabotage our effort. Ego can be utterly, oh, where it is now,
Sorry, Bina. Sorry, I had to make a paragraph there.
no problem. But okay, ego can be utterly ridiculous to protect itself. It's a sad business, but all we can do is move on. The worst we can do is to try and make an effort to bring those along who didn't do so on their own. That avoidance will quickly turn negative if we attempt to do this. It's one thing to be aware of our failings, it's quite another to have them rubbed in our face, even innocently and in complete innocence. Doesn't matter. Sad, but very, very serious issue. I
Oh,
feel it's a lesson of grace, which is we have to be unapologetically ourselves. Biella. Wow.
yeah.
I was not
Very
expecting this short
simple.
answer. I was not expecting this short answer from Biella.
Oh,
But again, uh, she was not here to meet our expectations. Again, a different,
correct.
completely different thing.
But she's put it all. And look at that heading now. Perceived
Yes.
less from Moreness.
Yeah.
The friends of hers are perceiving their own lessness as a consequence of the young lady's mourning.
You know that story of one of the incident in my life. I had a friend and I was like literally trying my best to stay in that friendship because I was like, okay, that was the idea that I must have. I need friends in my life. Actually, I was not in need at all. It was my misconception about myself that I need friends. I was really I do have friends and I had even at that time friends. But I was trying to get something else and I was like, okay, yes, because what in my mind I was trying to be at that point of my life where I had less awareness, where I could just chill and have okay, yes, not thinking things in a on a more serious note, and just having like a sometimes a stupid thing like a stupid chat and all these things. I was assuming that I could still have that, but the problem was not in the person. The problem was in me, even if it is a problem, and we call it a problem. That was me because I was not that person who I was expecting myself to be. I was not that person anymore. I could not enjoy those things anymore. We still, I do still enjoy some chats with my friends when me and Syl, when we are having things and we just laugh about simple stupid things because it makes us feel good, like, and also that okay, they are funny to us. It doesn't mean that okay, we are completely into this thing only, but the deliberate innocence is completely different to being foolish.
Ah,
And that
exactly.
is again an awareness.
Also, it is quite another thing to assume responsibility for others.
Yes.
I'm doing something which I doing for my reasons, but I'm also doing something which others feel that well they kind of should do as well, right? And
Yes.
they don't want to face this and do it. So now me doing it means that it is doable, and they feel guilty for not doing it. And of course, this is why they avoid me, or in this case, the young lady, right? It's why they avoid because if they were to hang out with us, they also need to basically do what they think they should do, not you, they. It's their own internal issues with the awful truth and with responsibility and with effort, etc. Motivation. They need to resolve all that. Either you're going to say, look, yes, all right, it's good for you to do it, but I don't feel the effort is worth the reward, so I'm not going to do it, and make peace with that. Okay, then you can be with somebody. But when they internally know that they themselves can't justify not doing so, of course they're going to avoid it. So the guilt. Right? It's a very, very powerful thing. Now, again, from the new nobility point of view, this is why they run public service ads, PSA announcements and programs, which make it very, very clear and obvious about the effort reward circle, that it is a circle. And effort reward is an entirely individual choice. No one at all can tell you how much effort is worth the reward. If you don't think a path of what it says here on a group where people are sharing their awakening process and how it's going, right? And this growing and expanding. If you don't think growing and expanding is worth the reward of growing and expanding is worth the effort, that's your choice. That's totally free. Nobody can say you're wrong to do that, right? But they believe they should. Yes, and I think I should put that should in inverted commas here, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that it is so. It may be, it may actually be true or not, either way. But the point is, we've come to believe that we should do things like that, right? Not effort
Yes.
reward. But when we understand effort reward, then we're at peace. And so that's good for you that you're doing it. I don't think it's something that I want is worth the effort, even though I realize it's good, but I don't think it's worth the effort. That's the key. It's not whether it's good or not. That's indisputable, but it's whether it's worth. Yeah, not always worth the effort for some people. I'm okay the way I am. I'm quite happy and content, and effort doesn't grab me. We are differently motivated as individuals, but there's not this awareness here, right? Now, if this was a cultural awareness in the culture of that group and these people that they're living in, that effort reward is something that they grew up with and understood. They were taught as children that effort reward is individual and it's a circle. There's no better or worse when it comes to where you choose to be on that effort reward circle. Yeah? Then they wouldn't have a problem. They'd be all okay with it, right? And they'd realize, well, that's her choice and my choice is not that. And it's okay. And it's okay. Yeah.
Yes.
I almost think that there's maybe a second BS here, that when we think about, just to write out this, what I'm saying a little bit about the effort reward circle, but maybe that comes up elsewhere. I think I'm going to leave it as the short point here because this is, it's called a lesson of grace, right? The chapter. Yeah. And yeah, it says, I feel it's the lesson of grace, which is we have to be unapologetically ourselves. This particular young lady may have started to feel a bit guilty about changing and moving on or feeling awkward that she's doing. And, maybe she feels internally like some deeper part of herself is criticizing her friends for not doing it because she's in a group Yes, where people were sharing, and well, no, the group didn't feel that. Her friends did. Okay, no, never mind. But I'm just saying, she may be in this group, and her friends aren't in this group, and she feels that they should be. So there may be that she's not comfortable with them not doing what she's doing. May be passed on to them as well. Doing. Yeah? But again, you have to be unapologetic yourself. I can't apologize for doing what I'm doing. If you are uncomfortable with it, well, too bad. Right? Move on. Right? All we can do, it's a sad business, but all we can do is move on. No? Make sense, Beena?
Yes. Yes.
Sometimes that's the harsh reality. If you're going into a different place, if people don't want to come, they don't want to come. That's their choice. But you can't be upset because they don't want to follow your path. That's what they want to do, don't. And again, too, sometimes that's a great gift from the universe. If she's paying attention via attunement, what is the universe saying here? Saying you're on a path that your friends aren't on. And hanging out with them is going to keep you in that mindset, that vibe, that mentality, that attitudiness, that beingness. And you aren't actually going to actually be able to be who you want to be because your new you doesn't fit here anymore. So your friends are actually, by avoiding you, it's a gift for you. It's what you really want. So change, move on. Yeah, find new friends. It's a profound lesson, right?
Yes.
And when we think of it
Yes.
from an attunement point of view, then it all makes sense, right? It's like a gift to say, well, don't hang on to things that are inappropriate. We believe we must stick with it. No, there's no must to it. You can, doesn't mean that you have to be unfriendly with them and disassociate, but you can relate to them differently. Yes. And, you may just have to give them some time and space. And then when you come back, you're an entirely different person. I mean,
It is difficult sometimes, Sil. It is
right?
difficult.
Yeah. Well, look at I never contacted my siblings for 30, 40 years. No contact whatsoever. Yeah, just again because I knew I was on a different path. I knew this way back when I was in school already, and I understood this, right? And that's why I never connected with my family because when I was a teenager already, when I was a boy, I was so radically different to them. I was quite aware of it, and I understood that they happy with their lives and they on the path that they on, and I'm on my path. I can't really hang out with them because I'm speaking a different language. I'm in a different reality. Yeah, and all I do is basically going to put pressure on them to basically, feel uncomfortable by what they do because of the same logic here, right? And so I didn't, and
Hmm.
there was no real need to be there. It's like this is not what I'm into. I'm not into what you into. I have nothing really to chat and be in common with, and all it is just awkwardness. And to me, to associate and hang out with people simply out of obligation, that's not a good reason. That's a terrible reason, right? It's a really bad reason. So I let it be. And they found me and connected. And yes, right, they connected. They're very happy. Oh, cool. But again, do they come and hang out? Do they come to the lives? No. Do they maybe watch him a little bit? Yeah, no, yes, a little bit. But again, like, in the case of some of my siblings, because I am so fully immersed in being different, right? When I was a boy, I had a social side and a private side. Now I've merged the two. My private side has become my social side, yeah, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. But back then, they really only knew my social side. They had no clue about my private side, right? And that was like just the way the things were. But now, since they're seeing me in a different light, in a different context, different understanding, and sort of the clues of that were there are falling into place, right? But they can relate to me because of all the time difference in a completely different way. That's not as the boy that was just kind of, well, just your brother, right? Just like kind of what you'd expect it to be. But I was never what one would expect to be. I'm not saying it in an egotistical way. It's just the reality, you know. I mean, some people might say, well, okay, you've been crazy all your life. Well, okay, fair enough. I'm quite happy to accept that. Right? But I'm just saying, though, that if there's a gap in time, we can relate from an entirely different place. Yes. And they appreciate that I'm in this different space and there's an awareness of it and an understanding. And it's okay. That's where you're at and I'm where I'm at. It's fine. It's not an issue. When there's a massive difference, right? When it's small, it can be a bit awkward in the early stages. But I'm saying, in this case of the young lady, let it go. You can come back. You don't have to completely forever let go, but you can come back. Right, Beena? I mean, if you think of people that you haven't interacted with for a long time, yeah, and you maybe were to interact with them now, you wouldn't go back and interact with old Beena. Yes, you'd interact with new Beena. Oh, Beena just dropped. Beena just dropped. Well, it's all good. It's all good. We just wanted to have a very short open today and live, and this is it. That's it. We're just going to end here. So just Beena dropping there. It's just attunement, and we'll just go with that. All right, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Very cool. This is a powerful point, though, in this chapter, to be unapologetically ourselves. It's a big lesson. It's a very big lesson. You know, I grew up where I could not, the environment didn't allow me to be unapologetically myself. I mean, just physically, I would have gotten into lots of trouble. But now I can be, right? Situations change. We do learn much in the situations where we are forced to be other than what we are. It teaches a lesson that we can be different as appropriate. Can be different as appropriate. It's a great lesson that we're not necessarily confined to being one way only. Not necessarily confined to being one way only. All right. So tomorrow's chapter is very peculiar and interesting. Who are the watchers through the passage of time? I was going to read the question, just, because I have it in the title there. This, the Moreness of Individuality. Because, I was thinking that we'd probably do both chapters. We don't have today, a lot of stuff going on, so we're not going to do both. But this is just, I was fascinated by this question. What a question. Who are the watchers through the passage of time? All right. On that note, I shall end today. And yes, again, as Beena says, like, comment, subscribe. Why? Because you're going to train your algorithm in order to change your paradigm. Yeah, by doing this, not just on but on similar things. If you make that deliberate habit to like and comment and share both, all three, right? Because when you just like, your algorithm says, well, you like a lot of stuff. I like the cat videos or the dog videos or baby videos or whatever. But this is not important to me. But when I comment and I share, I'm saying this is important to me. Oh, extra emphasis, right? Your brain works the same way as the algorithm. It works in exactly the same way. The more emphasized, the more the wiring in your brain changes, right? So when you do something that signifies this is important, like commenting and sharing, the algorithm takes note. Liking, not so much. A little bit, but not so much. Commenting and sharing says, wow, this really matters to you. This is really important to you. Yeah? And changes. And therefore, it's going to bring you more of the same. And if you get enough of this, because what I'm sharing is a different paradigm, but the Moreness paradigm, not the spirituality paradigm, you're going to change your world and your reality. Not just on Facebook and the internet, but in your day-to-day life as well. Yeah? Very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. And be ready for that change, like the young lady in the story. You may need to change your environment. You may need to literally, physically move, get a new job, whatever, right? It's part of it when you want to change your paradigm. Sometimes you have to make that physical change as well. Right? But be unapologetically yourself. Then you get to the moreness of individuality, all connected, right? Independence of being. All right. On that note, I'm going to end the live and we'll stop it right here.